Hi everybody. When you first start making videos for your business, you might be tempted to go out and learn all the most complex, expensive softwares that you can to edit your videos. But today I'm going to show you how to do them with a free software called iMovie. Let's get right into it. If you're new here, my name is Liz and I release videos every Tuesday teaching you how you can add video to your business. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss any of my future content. Now, I know that when you first start creating videos for your business, it can be tempting to want to get the highest production quality possible. And yes, you should absolutely aim to have every single video you create have good production quality, look and sound good, be well lit, all of the things that we teach in video marketing principles. However, when you are early in that video creation journey, the priority there is to make sure that you are releasing videos consistently, that you are showing up comfortably and having strong camera presence, and that you are creating content that your audience actually wants to see. If any of those elements are missing, that is what your audience is not going to forgive. Once you start developing more comfort with creating videos in general, and it's becoming an easier process for you, that is the right time to consider whether you want to invest in more expensive, complex softwares. We've heard of things like Final Cut, Premiere Pro, all of the things. DaVinci Resolve, that's another one. There are so many softwares out there. Now, they all take a little bit of time to learn. Some of them are expensive and you have to purchase the licenses. So today I'm here to teach you how you can just get started with your video creation by using the free software that comes on your Mac, and that is called iMovie. With this software, you can do all of the basic edits that you need to actually start putting out videos. You don't have to hold yourself back from creating videos while you go off to learn these other fancy, complex softwares that will cost you tons of money. Start with what you have, develop the comfort and the actual confidence, and then start considering other programs. So today we're going to jump onto my computer so that I can walk you through how to edit a basic, simple video from start to finish. So let's jump into it. Jumped onto my laptop and I'm ready to show you some of the simple editing features that come with iMovie. But for today, what I'm going to be doing is importing a 45-second clip into my iMovie, and then I will walk you through how you can trim that, add a title, add some text, adjust the speed or the volume, how to add transitions, add music, and export it to your laptop. So with those features alone, you can do quite a bit with your own video clips. So let's jump right into it. When you open up iMovie, you'll be faced with this blank screen like this. So of course you have to import your video clip from your laptop. So let's do that first. So this is the clip that I'm going to be using. It's just 45 seconds or so, and then we will go ahead together and edit that. So let's drag it down to my timeline. And I'll just reduce the volume on that a little so it doesn't alarm us every time we play that. So what I'll do is I will just go through how to create some simple edits on this, and then you can watch along. If you decide that you would like to use iMovie to edit some of your own clips, then what you can do is re-watch this video and then just pause it in the areas where I'm demonstrating a particular feature so you can see exactly where to click and how to do that. So first, let's just watch this entire clip so that we know exactly what we're working with, and it's only 45 seconds long. So here I am in my studio. I'm getting ready to sit in front of my LED light, checking that my hair and everything is straight. This is all a typical process before I start my videos. Hi everybody. When you first start making videos for your business, you might be tempted to go out and buy the most expensive, complex software to get it done in. But today I'm here to Okay, so there I made a mistake. Hi everybody. When you first start making videos for your business, you might be tempted to go out and learn all the most complex, expensive softwares that you can to edit your videos. But today I'm going to show you how to do them with a free software called iMovie. Let's get right into it. Okay, so this is basically the introduction for this video that you're watching today, for this YouTube video. So you can tell just by looking down here at the audio wave, all of these areas where you don't see much of a wave pattern, that's because it was mainly silenced during the video. So this is a quick way to know that this is all the unneeded portions of the video. Not only that, but when you were watching it through, you noticed that around this point is where I made a mistake and then I had to start over again. So that means, of course, we don't need any of this early section of this clip because that's all just garbage. So let's reduce the volume on this for a second. And what I'll do is I'll just play it from around this point so I can see exactly where I want to cut it, and then I will know what section I want to delete. So here's my cursor, which shows where I'm going to start playing from. Okay. All right. So that point is where I'm starting my next new section that I want to keep. So let's just scroll back a little bit. And I would say that this is a decent place to start from. So now that my cursor is here, I'm just going to press Command B, and now I've actually split this clip in two. And the purpose of splitting it is because I actually want to highlight this entire thing and just delete it because there's actually nothing here that I want to keep. So I've highlighted it, I'm just going to press delete, and I'm totally done with that clip. So let's actually increase the timeline a little bit so that we can see it in finer detail. And the reason that I want to do that is because I want to get really close to the beginning without wasting a lot of time. So we can see here is where my hand starts to go up, so I needed a couple seconds before that. So let's just trim it right there. Okay, and then here at the end too, you can see there's some silence, and I don't really need all of that. So let's just go right to the end of where you can see my mouth talking. And now I've stopped saying what I want to say. And then I can just trim out that extra additional piece. So let's get rid of that. So let's watch the whole thing again from beginning to end.
Hi everybody. When you first start making videos for your business, you might be tempted to go out and learn all the most complex, expensive softwares that you can to edit your videos. But today I'm going to show you how to do them with a free software called iMovie. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so that's a nice clean clip. There isn't a lot of extra hangover or delays or anything anywhere. So from that you could see that it was just easy to just trim out the parts that I didn't want. Now if there was a section somewhere in the middle that I didn't want as well, and of course that happens a lot when we're editing because we might have all sorts of mistakes and errors through the video, then I would also simply do the same thing. I would just click here and then do Command B, split it, and then click where the mistake has ended, do Command B and split it, and then I would just delete that middle section. Now we're interrupting this video so that I can remind you to subscribe to this channel. I think you should do that first. And if you're eager to get started with your video journey, make sure that you look for the free resource in the description below so that I can send you that right away. Now let's get back to our video. So now that we've done this, let's actually add a title to this. So when the audience is viewing it, they can actually see what the title of my YouTube video is going to be. Now I usually like to put my title around the same area where I'm actually saying the title so that it all just kind of connects like that. So let me find that space first.
I'm going to show you how to do them with a free software called iMovie.
Okay, so right around there is where I told the audience that I'm going to be showing them how to edit with iMovie. So I want to put my title just around here somewhere. So let's just go back a little bit so I can put it around there. Then it's as easy as coming up to your features at the top and then clicking titles. And then from this list, there's a whole bunch of different titles that you can use. And it is super easy just to find one that you like in a style that you like. Now let's pretend that this is the style that I like, the chromatic effect. I'm just going to click on it, bring it down here, and that automatically populates as a 4-second clip. We can see from this timeline that it's 4 seconds. Now in my case, that's going to be too long because my video is actually ending before that. So what I'll do is I will simply just drag it a little bit and make it shorter so that it ends around there, 2 seconds or so. So let's just type something and just see what the effect of that title is to see if we like that or not. So that's the title of my video. And there's all sorts of options here to change the actual font if you have a brand font or if you have another font that you actually like. So I'm just leaving that one just as a default. You can adjust the size of the font and you can even change the color of it. So once you open this little square for the white, you can come over here and then pick a color that's more suited to your brand. So for the sake of the example, I'll just leave it like this. But let me go over here and click and play and you can see what that title looks like.
Let's get right into it.
Okay, so that's what that looks like. Now, in fact, I don't really like that whole red and blue and the way that that slides in. Something about that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. So instead of that style, I could consider one of the other styles. There's an expand type, there's a split title. The one that I happen to really like is this one here called the pull focus. So let me delete that title and let me bring in this pull focus one. This is the one that you always see on my videos in case you're used to watching my videos on Tuesday. Make sure that you subscribe and watch along. So let's just increase the length of that a little bit. Okay. So let's go and retype our title. Now you'll notice that all of the titles give you a different look and feel even to the font. So in this case, this pull focus title is giving me this Gill Sans bold type of font. I'm not a huge fan of it. I prefer actually this Avenir Next Bold. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to get rid of this subtitle because I don't need that. And I'm going to get rid of the outline. I don't need that either. So I just want it white like that. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else I want to do with this. No, that's okay. So let's go over here and let's play it and see what that looks like.
Free software called iMovie. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so that's okay for me. I happen to like that effect, so I'm good with that. So that's how you would add a title. Now, what if you wanted to add some other text? Like what if you wanted to have your name come up or you just want to put some more text on the screen? You have a couple options in terms of how you do that. You can, in fact, just stick with these normal title displays, at which point that means that you would again click on one of these, drag it over to your timeline, and then just enter the text that you want to show up. So it is very common throughout YouTube videos, especially to see different titles and headings and subheadings and just different points coming up on the screen. So if you find one of these titles that you really like the look and feel of, then you can just consistently use that same one. Or if you have something that you want to put on your screen, like just your name, for example, or your website, there's a bunch of different type of text components here called lower thirds, which really will just put that text just into the bottom lower third of your video. So you can even try that. And on iMovie, you have other features like having this background even behind your text. So I've used some of those features before, like this one, for example. Or there's even a ticker style where the information goes along the bottom. So let's pretend that I just want to put my name somewhere so that people can see that. Let's say that I just want to drop it here randomly, and I might pick one of the lower thirds. So let's try this one. So this is called Gravity Lower Third. So let me bring that over here. Okay, so it would basically populate like that. So let's just type my name and then just see what happens. Now in this particular case, this white font in front of this white box that I have on my bookshelf, it's not the greatest effect. So of course you can edit that with a different color or a different type of font, or you can do anything you like that. But just for the sake of the example, I'm just showing you what it would look like. So let's make it a little shorter. Let's close this. And then let's go over here and see what that looks like.
Expensive softwares that you can to edit your videos.
Okay, so that's what it would look like. Now, of course, that font is way too thin and the color just completely blends in, and there's all sorts of issues like that. So you can just adjust that how you need to so that you can actually view it. But I wanted to make sure that you know how to actually add some text somewhere. Now, with a screen like this, it might actually be preferred to put something up at the corner, in the right corner, where I just have blank wall space rather than putting text down here. So when you're editing your videos, keep that type of thing in mind, because if you have words that needs to come up on your screen, then you don't want those words to come up right in front of objects that are in your frame that will just kind of overcrowd everything and make it difficult to see. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Okay, so let's say that we've done that text. Then another thing that we can actually do is we can adjust the speed of any of our clips. This can be handy for you if you want to do a little bit of slow motion or if you want to do a hyperlapse. In my case, sometimes what I notice is that when I record videos, I have a tendency to speak a little bit slower than I would in real life. And I'm doing that mainly because I understand it's a recording and I want to enunciate what I'm saying and I want to speak clearly and be able to be understood by everyone. So this is the reason that my on-camera persona is typically at a little bit more of a slower pace. So sometimes for YouTube, what I will do is I will quicken up my video just by a tad, just so that it's, snappy and it keeps moving without the viewer feeling like, oh my goodness, when is this going to end? She is talking so slow. So if you have a clip that you want to just change the speed of, you can absolutely do that. So let's click here. Now we've highlighted my entire clip. And you can see from this timeline that the entire clip is actually 15 seconds long right now. So I've highlighted it, and I'm going to go up to this speed feature. So here it is. And right now it's showing it's defaulted to the normal speed. But I can make it slower, faster. I could do a freeze frame, or I can do a custom speed. Now often what I do is I will do a custom speed, and instead of keeping it at the normal default 100, I will bring it to about 107 or so. I'll press enter on that. And then if I do not press this preserve pitch, what will end up happening is that it will speed in my clip up, but it will make me sound like the chipmunks. You know what I'm talking about? How it'll give me that like la 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 type of a voice. So instead of that, I'm going to preserve the same pitch that I started talking in, and it's going to maintain that. It's only going to adjust the speed. So now it actually sounds like this.
Making videos for your business, you might be tempted to go out and learn all the most complex, expensive softwares that you can to edit your videos. But today I'm going to show you how to do them with a free software called iMovie. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so that's not bad. It is a little bit quick, so I might make it 106 or so. But you can see that when I did that, it actually took my 15-second clip and it sped it up to the point that now the clip is only 14 seconds. So that's just for your information. If you're ever in a situation where you have to stay within a certain time frame, then that is a little bit of a hack because you can actually speeden up your clip a little bit. The viewer won't feel, any big difference because of that, but you can save a couple seconds and shave off some time. So let me just make this 106 because I felt like 106 might be a little bit better. Okay. All right, so that's how to adjust the speed. Now, when we look at this waveform here, we can see that there are some places where the sound of my voice or that waveform is actually going higher than this line. See that right there, for example, you can see that little yellow mark. Let's just increase the view on this. You can see how it's gone yellow there. So that means that I've basically maxed out and it has clipped the waveform at that point because my voice has gone above a certain level. So when the viewer is hearing it, sometimes it's not the greatest listening perspective for them because they hear the voice going up and down, and it needs a little bit of equalization. So in my next video, when I talk about some of the advanced features, I will talk about the more minute features of equalizing the audio so that you can get the treble and the bass and everything sounding really good and really strong. Today's video will just talk about how to adjust the volume. So because we can see that my voice has gone higher than the actual required sound levels, I'm going to just reduce the volume of my entire clip a little bit. So I'll click on it, and then I'll come up here to my volume button, and instead of keeping it at the default 100%, I'll bring it down to maybe 80 or so. Okay, so yeah, just anywhere around there is okay. All right, so now when I have a look back, I can see that my voice is not going higher than that line anywhere, so it's kind of staying at a normal volume. So if we play that.
To go out and learn all the most complex, expensive softwares that you.
Right, okay, so that sounds really comfortable. It doesn't sound like it's sort of like scratching the surface of going out of the hertz required. So that's something that you can do. If you have some clips where you're showing some scenery or you're showing something and you want to make it a little bit louder for that clip or a little bit softer, you can absolutely come up here and adjust the volume of that. And that's only really required for special effects or if you're in a situation like I was where your sound is actually going higher than it needs to be. Otherwise, the default is typically okay. But a lot of this depends on what type of microphone you're using in the first place for your video recording. If you're recording directly into your smartphone or into an external mic or into your laptop, all of these have different sounds, and you'll notice that sometimes you do need to adjust the volume a little bit. So let's talk about how to do some really simple transitions. So I'll just reduce my timeline here so that you can see that clearly. Now the way that this is sitting right now, the entire clip would play and then after 15 seconds, basically nothing would happen. So it just ends like this. Right, so it just ends like that. So what if I want at this point to go to a little branded intro clip, or what if I want to just show something else on the screen here? So what we can do is we can go up to the transitions features, and then we can pick any one of these transitions. Now I use a couple different transitions throughout my YouTube videos. So if you're used to watching them, then you'll know that usually in between different segments, I use this cross zoom feature, which basically looks like that, as you can see from the demonstration. When I end the intro, before I go into my actual branded clip, sometimes I do a fade to black or I do a fade to white. So let's just do that right now. So I'm going to click this and I'm just going to drag it over here. So now this transition is here, but I want it to transition to something. So let me just go back and I'll pull a clip for the sake of the example. So I'll drag and drop this over here. So this is sort of my branded intro clip. So that means my video will play and then it will undergo this transition that I've dropped in and then it will go to this. So let's watch that.
Let's get right into it.
Right. So that's just a little bit more interesting than just a direct cut. Or if you didn't like that transition, you could of course delete that here. Just press delete on it. And let's say that we wanted to do a cross zoom, so then I can drop that instead, and then that would look like this.
Right into it.
Right, so that's also interesting. So there's a bunch of those, and simply adding in one or two transitions can all of a sudden change the entire production quality of your video. And of course, I encourage you to just kind of stay within what your brand is already looking and feeling like. Of course, within one video, we don't want to see too many different transitions, because then it starts having more of an amateur look to it, in fact. But if you pick one or two simple transitions and you kind of maintain that look throughout all of your videos with the same transitions, then it just gives a really sort of nice, clean appearance and it looks very polished, almost as if you've given it to someone to do video editing on it for you. So that's another thing that you can do. Now let's pretend that you want to drop in some music. So there's a couple different reasons why you might want music. Either you can run it just in the background of your entire video or a portion of your video, or there might be times when you want some sound effects. Like for example, sometimes when I'm speaking on screen like this, I might show a little graphic here of a lead magnet that I offer. And then when that pops up onto the screen, sometimes I use a sound effect to just add like a little chime sound or a little cork popping sound. One of those type of things, just for a little bit of interest. For a short clip like this, I probably would not have any sound effects other than a little bit of background music running all throughout the entire thing. So when you want to add music, you can just come up here to audio and video, and then all of this just naturally comes within the software. So there's already tons and tons of options here. See the crickets sound? I've used that for some special effects before. There's all sorts of things. There's a bell-like thing. And then you can just sort of sift through all the different types of options that they have here. Or on the other hand, if you have your own branded sounds or sound effects that you want to import into the system, you can do that. So I have some sounds that I've already brought into this iMovie because they all have to do with my brand. So I happen to use most of those. So here are some of the ones that I've already imported in. And I'll just have a look and see how long they are. So this one is 59 seconds. That's a little long for my 15-second clip. This one is 21 seconds, so that's pretty close. This one is 15 seconds. I can drag and drop that one. So let's click that, and I'll drag that over here. Okay. Now when I drag it over, you can see by all of this yellow, all the yellow is stuff that is super loud, and that entire clip is quite a loud one. Everything there is above the equalization values. So rather than blowing out anybody's ears, what I'll do is I will just click on my audio clip, and then I will adjust the volume of that just the same way that I adjusted my other speaking clip before. So usually for background music, I keep it really low. It's really just like 8% or 7% or so. Okay, so let's listen to that.
Hi everybody. When you first start making videos for your business, you might be tempted to go out and learn all the most complex, expensive softwares that you can to edit your videos.
Okay, so you can hear that music really, really lightly in the background, which is okay for an introduction. Now, if you're doing something a little bit more cinematic or a little bit more exciting in general for social media, then you might want that music a little bit louder. But for me, since it's a lengthy YouTube video that's going to be about 15-20 minutes long, I don't want people getting frustrated listening to all this music in the background and not being able to hear me clearly. So for this reason, I'm just keeping it at super low volume. And let me just reduce that a little. And I just want to adjust that music too, because I just want it to end when I finish speaking. I don't want it to interrupt this little branded intro that I have. So I've just ended it there. So it'll just wrap up like this.
iMovie. Let's get right into it.
Right. So the music that you heard with this intro, that was actually built into the intro. It's not something I dragged in right now. So here's my audio clip. So that's there. So then all together at the end, we can just increase the size of the full screen here, and then we can just go back and watch the entire thing to see what we have.
Hi everybody. When you first start making videos for your business, you might be tempted to go out and learn all the most complex, expensive softwares that you can to edit your videos. But today I'm going to show you how to do them with a free software called iMovie. Let's get right into it.
Right, so that shows just an example of how you can take a clip that was actually 44 seconds when we started. We got rid of all the stuff that we don't want there. We sped up the remaining portion that we do want. We adjusted the volume on that. We added a title and a little bit of text. We added a transition and another extra branded clip, and we've added a little bit of music. So these same principles you can use when you are editing videos of any length and of any kind. It is just super versatile and super easy to use. And there's so many tutorials available on, the step-by-step of how to use iMovie. But I want to make sure that you get a general sense right now of how easy you could get yourself up and going just on YouTube itself from a simple free software like iMovie. So once you're done your actual video, so let's say that I'm super happy with this and I have nothing further that I want to do with it, then what I would do is I would come up here to the export button, and it gives me a couple different ways that I could export this. Now, if you export it using this YouTube and Facebook feature, what it will do is it will compress your video and export it to your laptop in a smaller file. And in fact, that sounds like a good thing, and it's not a bad thing, but the problem is that compressed file sometimes has a little bit reduced quality of video to it. So I recommend that you just try that first and see whether you are happy with the quality and the resolution of that compressed file. If you feel like it's not satisfactory for your purposes, then you can just export it as the normal file, and it will not compress it. It'll just export it just in its full format. And then you can just save it to your laptop and then do whatever you like with it. So that's how you would use iMovie. So make sure that you stay tuned for my next video about this, where I show you how to add more of the advanced features and then create something that would be a really strong branded video that you can use on your website or even on your weekly YouTube videos. So let's get back into our video today.
Now, one of the reasons that I encourage entrepreneurs to start recording videos with their smartphone and with free tools that already come loaded on their phone and on their computer is because the important thing about video for your business is always going to be your message. Too many entrepreneurs spend time getting hung up trying to learn all of these complex softwares. This can sometimes delay you for weeks and months and make you feel frustrated in the process. I myself am not a very tech-savvy person, so I always stick with simple tools. As long as your videos are created in a way that people can see you clearly, hear you clearly, and your message is actually resonating with your audience, those are the best videos. Those are the ones that actually convert your audience into paying customers. Don't get all caught up in all of the expensive bells and whistles that might come with some of the other programs, especially if you feel that those programs take up a ton of memory on your computer and are actually causing you to work slower. So try out the tips that I've showed you and try to use iMovie if you already have a Mac computer. It's already there. You might end up feeling like it is far easier to use than you even thought. If you like this video, make sure that you give it a like and share it with one of your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, because every single Tuesday I bring you a new video teaching you how you can add video to your business. So until next time, take care.